Hey, 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 Power Couple Hub. This is Dave coming to you with December's discussion on masculinity. How in the world did we get to December already? Where has this year gone to? Boggles my mind. But I got to tell you, I haven't been this excited for a new year to start in a long, long time. I'm really looking forward to everything that we're going to accomplish in 2023. And to that end, today's session on masculinity, I think, is really going to prime the pump and prepare us for that January 1 kickstart into the new year. So last month, we talked about masculine energy being action-oriented and confident. We introduced a very simple activation of diligently keeping and managing a to-do list because there's this reciprocal relationship between task completion and increased confidence. Both of those reinforce the masculine self-image of competency. I've got what it takes to get the job done. We're going to build on that this month with a closely related topic that's going to bring a more directed focus to this action-oriented masculine energy. And the reason we need to do that is there's a potential problem with what I laid out last month. And that problem might need for some of us a little more nuanced discussion. Here's what I'm getting at. While you may have been very conscientious in creating and managing your to-do list, and your confidence may be flying high right now as you look back on all the things that you've accomplished, some of those tasks, many of those tasks, for some of you, a majority of those tasks, and maybe for a few of you, all of those tasks were what I call administrative in nature. And by that, I mean they were sedentary. For example, if this had been the month of April, let's say, a very important high priority task for some of you may have been completing your taxes and getting them filed. But regardless of the time of the year, an equally important task on your to-do list may have been getting all your bills paid on time at the end of the month. It could have been revising the family budget. Some of you may have been needing to update your resume. You've been putting it off for a while. Others of you may have needed to sit down with your spouse and finalize your vacation plans for the next year, mapping out your itinerary, making travel arrangements, hotel reservations, any number of things like that. You could have had a bunch of important phone calls that you've just been putting off and you needed to complete. Or it could have been something as silly as you needed to get your butt off the couch and go get that car in for its overdue service. I mean, we could go on and on for an hour listing all kinds of things that would be very appropriate to go on a to-do list, important tasks that needed to be prioritized and completed, but required little or no physical exertion on your part. Those are things that I'm calling administrative tasks. And if that's all that any of you had on your to-do list, then I've got one thing to say. Houston, we've got a problem. We have a problem because masculine energy is not only task-driven, it is also physical, strong, and active. And that's sometimes easy to forget in this age of modernity when active, strong, physical energy is no longer required in order to live and survive and thrive in the same way it was, let's say, all throughout human history up until maybe the last 100 years or so. Think all the way back in our ancestral past to the hunter-gatherer days when we had to go out every single day and hunt for food that we were going to eat. And half the time, the food sources that we were hunting hunted us back. If you weren't effective and efficient at flowing in a strong, active, and physical masculine energy, you died. Even more recently, with the advent of, let's say, the industrial age, the vast majority of the population were still the laborers, the people working in the factories and in those industrial settings. And those were long, hard, physically demanding days. And if you couldn't cut it because you didn't have the physical strength or stamina, your employer didn't make accommodations for you. They just kicked you out onto the street. And once again, just like in the hunter-gatherer days, you and your family became destitute, and ultimately, you died. But things are very different for us today. In this day and age, we make accommodations for everyone, for seemingly everything. There are rules and laws and rights and HR departments that protect our rights. We even have motorized carts at grocery stores so that people don't have to walk up and down the aisles while they're doing their grocery shopping. Now, don't get me wrong. None of these things are bad. They are, on an individual basis, they're all improvements. So don't hear what I'm not saying. But somehow, in the midst of all of this, I think we've thrown the baby out with the bathwater sometimes. As a people group, as a culture, we've lost touch with that part of our masculine heart, our masculine heritage that was strong, active, physical, and physically capable. As a result, again, as a society, I think we're getting weak, sedentary, we're becoming more and more inactive, and I would say physically deficient. We're actually in the process of becoming lame. And I know that sounds harsh, but go hang out at Walmart for an hour and just watch people and tell me that it's not true. Here's the deal, the bottom line. There is nothing masculine about being weak, inactive, and physically deficient. It is the antithesis of masculinity. So remember last month we identified that masculine energy is confident, rooted in this self-awareness that I've got what it takes to get the job done. And sometimes the job that needs to get done requires some degree of physical activity, physical strength, and physical capability. That's just the bottom stinking line. And just like last month, there is a reciprocal relationship between physical ability and confidence. One goes up, the other naturally follows. So here's my question for everyone today. What are you intentionally doing to increase, hopefully, or at least as a bare minimum, maintain your physical health and fitness? What are you doing intentionally to build up your masculine trait of being physically active, strong, and capable? We started out last month with the simple activation of creating, maintaining, and monitoring a to-do list, recognizing that masculine energy is task-driven. As you check things off that to-do list, you celebrate those as victories, and your confidence naturally increases because you're continually reinforcing that internal self-awareness. Yes, I'm masculine. Yes, I'm capable. Yes, I can get the job done. Now, some of you are already probably figuring out that, yes, we are going to add a new activation for you this month. This can be part of your existing to-do list. You can incorporate it into that, or you can pull this out and make a separate list for you and what you are going to do to intentionally increase or at bare minimum maintain your physical health, physical fitness, physical capability. Because masculinity is a physical energy. So let me just throw out some really quick examples. The list of things that you could do are as long as my arm, longer. But off the top of my head, 9 or 10. Resistance training, old-fashioned weightlifting. Yes, you can go to the gym. Absolutely would be amazing. But here's the bottom line. Not everybody's made for the gym. Not everybody likes going to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym and lift weights the old-fashioned way. You can go to the gym, and most modern gyms have all kinds of fitness classes that you can do. That's an option, but you don't even have to go to the gym at all. There's just a ton of body weight exercises that you can do in your stinking bedroom. You can Google them. But, find something that you enjoy. Swimming is an option. Running is an option. Just take your dog out for a walk if you're really starting on square one. Some people like biking. In the last, 20 years or so, these suspension training apparatuses came out, and there's all kinds of them. You can order them on the internet, and they're just like straps that have handles, and you can hang them over a tree limb, and you can do body weight exercises. They're great. I've got one. We've got two. They're phenomenal. And if time constraints is a problem for you, if you have been avoiding getting into physical activity because you don't think you have enough time, first of all, you're wrong. You do. You're just not prioritizing your time. But if time constraints are a legitimate problem in your life right now, you can take up HIIT training. That's HIIT, high intensity interval training. Again, Google it. You can find all kinds of things that you can do without any equipment that will take you no more than 15 minutes, that will kick your butt. They're really, really good stuff. And 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes 4 times a week, 15 minutes 3 times a week. I don't care. Do something. Some of you may like dance classes. Really cool. Dancers are very physically capable. Others of you might be interested in martial arts training. The list is, we could go on for another hour of things that you can do that are physically active. The point is, find something you like. Find something that's enjoyable for you. Find something that's motivating for you. And equally important, it's sustainable. And then just go for it. Be intentional. Make a decision, commit, and just get started. But also, track your progress. Why? Because you want to see yourself making gains. And why is that important? Because just like knocking things off your to-do list, it builds your masculine confidence. It's that snowball rolling downhill, building up speed, mass, and momentum until it gets to the point where it's self-sustaining because it's become a lifestyle. Everyone listening to this today knows intuitively that being physically active, building your physical health, increasing your physical fitness is important for all of us, male or female. It helps you live longer, live healthier, be happier, live a more productive, fulfilling life. It helps prevent all kinds of diseases and conditions. There is just nothing bad about it when you do it right. Well, now you know that it's a vital component in building and increasing your masculine energy. Again, whether you're male or female. So I'm going to close today by throwing out this question. Perhaps we can turn this into a discussion thread, maybe on the group page. How many of you think that building and maintaining your physical health and fitness, being physically active and capable in your life, how many of you think that is a biblical principle? And if you do think that this is biblical, cite the source. Show me where you find that in the Bible, and let's talk about it. That might be an interesting additional activation to do on the side, but the primary activation for this month, again, we're getting ready for that January 1 kickoff. And what does everybody in the world do on the first of the year? What's the vast majority of people's New Year's resolutions? Get back into the gym, get back in shape, all right? We're just letting us all get started a month early. thinking about that, preparing, actually starting to do something to get active. So choose an activity that you're going to engage in and then simply engage, but also monitor your progress. Now, that could be, in terms of monitoring your progress, that could be more weight on the bar. That could be more repetitions completed. That could be increased distances on your walks and your runs, or it could be completing the same distance at a faster pace. Well, here's an interesting side note. One possible way that you could monitor your progress: watch the numbers plummet on your bathroom scale. How many of us in this group wouldn't mind losing 10 or 20 pounds? Haven't been thinking about that for a while. All kinds of additional side benefits. But those aren't the reasons we're doing it this time. We're doing it this time because we're going to be intentional at building a part of us that taps into that masculine energy that is physical, that masculine energy that is strong, active, physically driven, that again, in a different way, communicates to this self-awareness: I've got what it takes to get the job done. So thank you all for your time. And I really look forward, again, maybe we'll talk about this in the discussion thread. What are we all going to do starting this month, ready to just roll right into January of next year? What are we going to do to build the physical, strong, active, masculine energy that lies in each and every one of us? I look forward to that discussion. All right, until then, we will talk to you later.